Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. It's me, Vinod, coming out to you in the evening as you're getting ready to have some dinner. So, what happened? Why is the market so subdued in some ways and reacting in other ways? As we are recording, the Nifty 50 is also flat. I mean, it's marginally down by around 78 points, but we can consider it pretty much flat from 24,000 where we're sitting. 78 points is hardly any movement, and the Nifty Bank is also flat. But there's a lot of stock news which I would get into. Before I get into the stock news, let's briefly talk about what Trump is doing and what's happening in terms of trade war and macroeconomics and how that is something you should keep an eye on. As expected, Trump has taken a further U-turn and he's taken a very soft stance towards the Fed, and that led to market recovery. Post that, his commerce and his finance, all of the secretaries came out and said the deal with China is imminent, and even he has said the deal with China is imminent and things are going to get sorted out very soon and is not going to last. So why is this sudden change in tone the way Trump is talking? Well, the reason why the change in tone is all the corporate CEOs in the US, the big corporates, be it in FMCG, be it in manufacturing and automobiles, be it in pharmaceuticals, all of them have gone to the White House and told him, this is just not on. What you're doing is going to destroy whatever we have built, and it's going to destroy the goodwill that you have with the American people. Somewhere something has resonated with it, or maybe just the fact that everyone seems to be telling him this, he has decided to take a soft stance. That said, he did come out again after saying everything about China, that he's still angry with Canada and Canadian cars are not welcome to the US. And aside from the 25% tariff, he may raise some more tariff there. So this shows you where it all stands. Though gold did correct from its all-time highs, it corrected internationally by a lot. In India, it didn't correct as much because the other factors in India. The dollar index, if you saw from 97, it clawed itself all the way back to 99. At the time of recording, dollar index is at 99.18 and the US INR is at 85.2, and the Nikkei is also still almost a percentage point up. Gold is at $3,329. So this is where we stand at. There's been a definite market softening and a bit of a recovery happening. Will this recovery last? No, it will not last, because Trump is anything but predictable and he seems to keep changing his mood from moment to moment. So you are expected to have a lot more volatility. What do you do with this information? Should you be buying, gold? Should you be buying any specific stock? Well, my idea on gold is this is a moment of correction. So some of you did book profit when you saw gold going all the way where it did. If you did, I understand you felt the exuberance in the market, so you said this is unsustainable and you booked. But gold is never, like I've said many times, an investment class. It is only a hedge against market volatility. For that sake, I would still say keep sipping in gold. It's not that gold is going to go down and correct severely, though a lot of you feel that it may. If anything, gold will keep going up further, because the way the American economy is looking, and if the Fed starts cutting interest rates, which it might, because if they get into a recession, that's one of the levers he'll first pull, the Fed, and that is what even Trump is hoping for. That means more dollars would flood the market and interest rates are lower because cost of borrowing comes down. If more dollars are there, that means more dollars would chase gold, and in turn gold prices will go up. That is what the thinking is. So there, even if things are going hunky-dory, even then gold prices should go up. And if things don't go hunky-dory, and if Fed doesn't do what Trump is hoping to do, which is cut interest rates, and they hold interest rates, and Trump continues flaming these tariff kind of rhetoric, more confidence will be lost in the dollar again, and again gold will be the safe haven which everyone's seeking, and further push gold prices up. So either way you look at it, gold prices will go north. That doesn't mean you should put up, like I said in the previous video, all your money in gold. Nor am I saying you should not have any gold at all. You have to have around 5 to 10%, and that should be more than sufficient for any small investor like you and me. Keep that in mind when you're looking at gold. Now, in terms of what's happening in India, FIIs have been steadily buying in India, and you've been seeing it as I've been sharing the data on Instagram and WhatsApp, how they've been buying very steadily without a break. Day after day, they've been buying, I think, for almost 7 to 8 days in a trot. The DIs did sell initially heavily on a few days in the beginning, but they have also are cautious in their selling. because opportunities are very few in the world right now, and India is one of the safest places to invest as a foreign investor. And that is apparent if you see what happened with Natco today, where Natco surged almost 14% at one point, and then profit booking happened, and it's still, as I'm recording, at 913.14, it's sitting on. My advice to Natco is this. I've done extensive videos with Dana, with my brother, and by myself on what a great company it is and what a value buy it is if you are willing to consider and willing to hold for the longest time. Because companies like this, at these kinds of severe discounts, don't usually land up. Somewhere along the line, Mr. Market will wake up and realize there's a value here, and they'll realize it's a valuable company, and they'll realize they've been ignoring it and discounting it, and suddenly they'll wake up to it. That's what it seems like it happened with Natco today, because there's no real breaking news in Natco other than it must be a technical call placed by someone, because the volume suddenly surged and there's been heavy buying in Natco, pushing the price further and further up. There was a bit of news in Al Jazeera which came out saying that the general notion is a lot of pharmaceutical companies in the US and healthcare services in the US and even pharmaceutical companies in the US, in Europe, have all reached out to Mr. Trump privately and even publicly said that pharmaceuticals should not be in the tariffs because it's an essential commodity and it should not be tariffed and should not get pulled into trade wars, because Americans import around 70 to 75% of their drugs are all imported, especially the basic ones, and they can't afford these costs to go up. There'll be any inflationary pressure on pharmaceuticals. So they feel that Trump will relent and pharmaceuticals will not be under tariff, and this has been the reason why a lot of rally has been in pharmaceutical companies worldwide, and this is also the reason why we're seeing it in Natco. I don't think that is specifically the only reason. It's also that is the reason that Natco is at an extreme discount, trading the start of the day trading at around 7 to 8 PE, by end of day now close to 10, because that's how much the price has moved. So there is value there. If you compare it to all its other peers, Natco is at a discount. So should you sell? Those of you who felt very fearful, who bought Natco 1,000 plus and who saw opportunity at 700 when Anand was saying, and you managed to buy and lower your average cost, and it's below the price today, and you're below average and you're in profit and you're feeling nervous, or you had felt nervous about Natco in the past, maybe you can book your profit and exit. Me personally, I am not. Today also I consumed Natco. I did say it in Instagram. That was my tiffin coffee for the day. I think it's a great company at a great value. At even 1,000, I would say it's a great company at great value. The day it's not becomes so-called a diamond needle, as my brother says, or it becomes too expensive, I myself will be the first one to tell you Natco's become too expensive. As of now, it's still in value. But like I said, you have to be willing to hold on to it and sit on it for some time to see the real gains. And when I'm looking at a horizon of 10 years plus, I think Natco today is a fabulous company to buy. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying you should do this or not. That's up to you. You have to take a call on it on your own personal accord. A lot of you have been asking me on Instagram that if you should sell or not. That's personally your personal choice. If you don't have an appetite for risk, and if you're looking at it the wrong way, you should not be in the capital market. That's why I put up that Warren Buffett video with Charlie Munger on Instagram, and I hope all of you go and see that video. It's there in my brother's Instagram also if you don't follow me. And what Munger and Charlie said also, the main crux of it, I made it even to a separate post and I posted it because I want to drive it in that what stock market offers you is an opportunity to own a business. It does not look at stock prices and try to buy high and sell low and all that. That's not what stock market is about. And if you try to make that what stock market is about, you're going to have a lot of anxiety and stress and depression, and you should not be in the stock market. If you're looking at the stock market the way you should, which is an opportunity to buy a business or invest in a business and own a business, which is fundamentally why the stock market started. It was an opportunity for people who have a great business idea or a good business to seek out fresh capital, to expand and grow, to invite investors upon them to invest in their company. Then it's a wonderful opportunity to get into the stock market and see these companies. But if you're looking at it in a way to make money, where you buy it at a certain price and then sell it, and all the other things that people are trying to do in it, sooner or later you'll end up hurting yourself. So be careful. And if you don't understand what you're doing and you're in the stock market, it'll give you only severe anxiety, which is another thing Warren has said. Stock market, should be of service to you. You should not become a servant to the stock market, where you're constantly looking at prices, expecting the prices to reveal some secret. There's no revelation in prices other than you understanding the business fundamentally or not. Thanks for watching the video as always. And I'll try and bring Shashwat in as I promised before he heads back to his college. Probably this weekend, maybe Saturday or Sunday, I try to bring him in and have a conversation with him about what he thinks about all what's happening macroeconomically, and what will happen with gold and what will happen with the currencies globally and with interest rates from other banks. Thanks for watching the video as always. Hope you had a wonderful day and looking forward to tomorrow being the last day of the week as we get into the weekend. See you again tomorrow before we close the week out. Thank you for watching Be Rich today. Good night.